All right, green-white adventures. Cornerstone of adventures here is Edgewall Innkeeper. Whenever you cast a creature spell that has adventure, draw a card. And then we've got a plethora of sweet adventure creatures in here. We also have some Gideons as something that's resilient to Sweeper, and then Questing Beast as well. This was actually a build-around submission, so someone asked me if I could try and pair Master Splicer here along with Lovestruck Beast, because they have some synergy since these both make 2 bodies, which seems neat. One thing I'm actually thinking about as I'm looking at this, and I don't know what brought this to my mind. Should we be playing some Iroan games in here? I feel like we probably should, huh? This card, along with Shepherd of the Flock, can also be used multiple times, right? Because we could make a soldier, and then chapter 3, you draw 2 cards, then you could pick it up. It makes a 1/1 for Lovestruck Beast as well. Yeah, let's try some games. I'm gonna cut these life bounties. I'm gonna go down to 2 Faerie Guidemother. If I go down to 2 Faerie Guidemother, how many lands am I playing? 23. Cut a Faerie Guidemother and a Questing Beast. Let's do that. Yeah, let's give this a try. This card was really impressive in the green-white deck that or the green-red deck that we played. Interested to see how it feels in here. Yeah, maybe one less Gideon. Yeah, I'm gonna cut a Gideon and leave the Questing Beast. I like Questerson. Although both of these trigger games, yeah, let's leave the Gideon. I like Gideon. He doesn't die to Sweepers. Let's give Chad a chance. A Turtle, thank you for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome to Hoaglandia. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one wherever you're at. Let's do it. Yeah, correct, Boshek. I also have 4 Ceratops in the sideboard. So Ceratops can technically block, and it can kill them through it. So. I don't think I can keep this hand in good conscience, especially on the draw. We have a lot of one drops in our deck, so I think I want to try and get an opening hand that has one. Perfect. I'm just gonna play this tapped rather than play Innkeeper on 1. This means I don't give myself the ability to draw a second Adventure 1-drop on 2. I also don't give myself the ability to block that. That's unfortunate. I also don't give myself the ability to draw that, and maybe I am just supposed to play it on 1. I don't know, I am filled with doubt now. Batale MTG, welcome to Hoaglandia. Thanks for keeping me around. I think I have to kill this. How was Epic yesterday? It's good. Their games are a little more on... The average gameplay in Epic's a little bit more on the grindy side, so they're not fast games, but as far as, like, game quality, it's very high, very reasonable. Their game is incredibly interactive. If you enjoy mid-range games of Magic, you'll really enjoy Epic. Yeah, the timer in the real-time games is pretty aggressive. In a good way. So I played Edgewall Innkeeper out here because I have Shepherd of the Flock to usher it to safety. Yeah, I'm scheduled to do Epic tomorrow and Friday as well at the end of the streams. So I'm going to be doing longer streams tomorrow and Friday as well. So the TLDR for Epic is that the resource system is all of your cards cost either 1 or 0. And you can play cards on your opponent's turns, but there isn't a strict priority system like in Magic. So how it works is you get to play as many cards and abilities as you want, and they just resolve when you play them. And then before the turn passes to your opponent, they get a chance to do the same. And if your opponent takes actions when you pass to them, you get another chance to take actions as well before the turn passes again. There's no stack, but you pass priority before the turn passes is a good comparison. I think we might be dead here. If you're interested in giving Epic a try, their Steam release got delayed for a day or two due to some technical issues, I believe, but it's out on Android and iOS now, so you can give it a download. The other thing that's really novel about Epic is that it's actually fully free to play. In that, not that you install it and then have to spend money for a bunch of cards, but just by installing it, you have all the cards in the game by default. And they are monetizing by selling cosmetics and tournament entries, which is a neat model. I think it would be good if they could succeed, because it would, spell out other less obnoxious models that could exist. I think I'm going to run back the play I did last turn here, which is not actually trade these. I'm just going to go ahead and usher this to safety. I guess they could priest me in response. And then I have to choose between trading my shepherd and losing my innkeeper. Yeah, so I think my plan here is sack the shepherd so these don't trade, but then I get to pick this up. If they have another removal spell here, I'm going to be pretty sad. The UI is a little rough around the edges. They are actually a small indie studio. The gameplay is very reasonable though. Has a paper component as well if you'd like something to play in paper on occasion. And their paper system uses the living card game model, which is also very consumer friendly. Am I just getting a land here? I feel like I am, because I want to be able to play 2 3-mana spells next turn, I think. Yeah, the one-on-one limited format that they have is really neat. Very, very similar to cube drafting. Yikes, are we dead? I think we died, right? Close to it. Feels dead, man. Let's get some Devouring Lights in our deck, huh? Giant Killer doesn't line up super well. I'm actually not a fan of Gideon in matchups like this, just because he's good as a sweeper resistant threat, but in matches where they're likely to be able to pressure him off the board, he tends to be not stellar. Need one more trim here. anyone here try Keyforge? Yeah, I demoed Keyforge at Gen Con. Was it 2 years ago when it came out? The gameplay in Keyforge is really, really neat and interesting. The distribution model for Keyforge leaves something to be desired. The distribution model for Keyforge feels like someone asked the question if they could instead of asking the question if they should. Yeah, I mentioned cutting the giant killer. I think I'm actually not supposed to, just because it, what's the word I'm searching for? Giant killer is just, I need a density of adventure creatures. Like, if you cut too many adventure creatures, Innkeeper becomes less good. Maybe the Faerie Guidemother is better. Is it better to keep than one of the giant killers? Maybe. I'm gonna attack with this. I say I might want to hold this back to block a Arcanist, but I actually don't want to do that. Of course, Gen Con's a business expense. I talk to people about industry there every year. As a Reeve Soul. Destroy target creature with power 3 or less. Good old sorcery speed. What is your quest? I seek the face. Crunch. Crunch, 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 crunch. Our opponent's playing red-black aristocrats. I'm just gonna exile that, and by that I mean turn it into a food. I mean, if you look at how we sideboarded, I became more interactive post-board in this matchup as well. It's very possible the opponent did what we did and boarded in a handful of removal spells and just happened to draw a bunch of them this game. Shepherd of the Flock actually has some pretty clean synergy with Master Splicer here too, huh? Because you can pick Master Splicer up and then make another golem with it with Shepherd of the Flock. Which is nice. Very nice. You can send me Uncrustables. Lol. I'm planning to be live for another hour or so. Mana Symbol just started the last deck. My target is to go to like 4:30 on Mondays and Fridays. Huh? Yes, this was a build-around submission to see Lovestruck Beast and Master Splicer in the same 75. Obviously, I should have attacked before playing my spell. He says, as his opponent plays a removal spell, he could have countered with Shepherd of the Flock. Sloppy sequencing on my part there. Am I gonna get blown out by a removal spell? Oh, that's so vomit-inducing. Ugh. Just got super punished for my sequencing last turn. Would have been so far ahead if I would have just, like, attacked first. And then we would have gotten to bounce and blow out their revival instead of the inverse happening. We'd have a Lovestruck Beast, so we'd have drawn a card with this. Now, like, they have a Midnight Reaper, and we kind of don't have a lot going on. They have 2 cards left in their hand. They're like, Mayhem Devil away from just decimating us. And I don't like this whole Justice Stream thing. I much prefer when I get to win after I make a bunch of mistakes. That's the preferred outcome. I would like to make a bunch of mistakes and then win anyways. Please and thank you. I think I just pressure them here, because with Midnight Reaper hammering down their life total, this seems potentially a fine for us. I assume they're actually going to let these trade since they have a spare food, and I'm fine with that. I'm going to sit here. I'm not going to use the flower, because I'm pretty close to flourishing. I'm just going to go ahead and sit here and activate my castle every turn, and then eventually we'll draw another land, and then get to flourish and end the game, hopefully. The Midnight Reaper making the cat life neutral could actually be a boon to us here. Make it harder for them to stabilize. Of course, they're also drawing a lot of cards. Like if they find a Mayhem Devil, the game's just over. I don't know why people think I really don't think Shadow Spear is a very playable card. Lots of people keep registering it, and I don't understand why. I mean, with the second Midnight Reaper, they might be dead to a land anyways, right? If they block everything, each of their creatures deals them 2. It's been a while since people have had to play around that card. Boop, boop. All right. We pulled the sneaky on him. Kind of fumbled around a little bit. Ended up winning anyways. I'm going to switch these to 3-3 because I do think Guidemother's a little bit better than Giant Killer. Let's give this a go. I think it's unplayable in all formats. I think it requires a very specific, like, I don't know. Like, are there formats where Honest Aggro is that good? Like, I don't feel like modern black-green has a problem with Honest Aggro decks if it's built appropriately. I guess maybe if your modern black-green deck's a dumpster fire and playing Dark Confidant, you need the help. Maybe. I hadn't seen that. That's, pay no attention to the canary dying in the coal mine. I mean, that's the right approach. If he's not enjoying the format, he should tap out. Like, you know? If I hadn't committed to playing another dozen Pioneer decks, I'd have tapped out by now as well. Alright, do you want to trade Dreadhorde Butcher for an Edgewall Innkeeper? Wow! That's yikes. Alright. Rough. Rough. So they get to sack those. Trigger kills an Innkeeper. Priest kills an Innkeeper. They massacred my boy, Chad. Is this Priest of the Forgotten Gods card good, chat? Might be something to this whole Priest of the Forgotten Gods card. That, like, feels really bad, but, like, you have to remember, both of these drew a card. So, like, at the end of the day, they did generate value, so it's not that bad. Like, my next turn's gonna be shock this in, do this, do this, do this. So we're still in an okay spot. We're just, like, not nearly as far ahead as we were a second ago. Less ahead than we previously were. This month qualifies for an MCQ event, Burper. So I'm playing decks on the ladder sparingly. Mostly just playing decks on the ladder that I know are good. We've been in this one for about 20 minutes. What's the deck of the day? So far, Black Red Aristocrats is the deck of the day. That's super unfortunate. They get to kill my Innkeeper here. Iroan in games, hopefully gonna pull through. This will be a draw 2 down the line, most likely, which is nice. This getting to pump up Faerie Guidemother is also kind of sweet. Yeah, so they're gonna shoot the Innkeeper. We'll sack the 1/1. They have 3 cards left. Second Butcher to kill our other thing there is kind of rough. Huh? So I just Lovestruck Beast here then? I think so. I think I play the untapped lands here to hold up Shepherd of the Flock. Well, I mean, if they claim, I get to Shepherd, right? They're gonna draw 5 cards here, I assume. It's just casual, no big, draw 5. Make me sack a creature, lose 2 life. This is much better than claim. Yeah. Yikes. These are Eldraine Borderless Plains. They take 4 to do that. Oh no, not 4 damage. What were they at? 20? Oh, I guess they'll be okay. Seems like they'll survive. I don't know about Swish. We're kinda getting beat down here. And like their deck has traditional reach in it. Yeah, they have like Cat Oven, they have Priest to drain us. We're pretty dead here, I feel like. Yeah, they have a cat in the bin. Onward, onward, upwards, backward, forward. Sure. Yeah, I agree. Back when this deck was actually a thing, like there was a hot second where Green-White Adventures was really popular. I was playing a lot of the Red-Black Sack deck, and the Red-Black Sack deck is incredibly favored. They just have too many must-answer threats, and even post-board, this archetype just doesn't have enough tools to answer them. I would love to trade, thank you. Aristocrats was good. I think it's probably the deck of the day. Not having to worry about getting Goblin Chain Whirlered it's nice. Very, very nice. That's interesting. I think I just get this down to pump my dorks up, so that way I can also generate a little bit of card advantage here soon.
Hey, I'm meditating here.
Really surprised they stomped proactively there like that, as opposed to waiting. This targets, right? Yeah, I feel like they should have waited to see what I targeted with this. Now we have 2 different creatures with 4 power or more, so we're very likely to get the draw 2 here, which is great.
Say hi to my fiery friends.
What on earth does this attack mean? This is like a light up the stage. They have like they have double pump spell. You not just get like double rimmed here. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. Yikes. Well, I get to draw 2 at least. You know what sounds great? Life linking my 5/5. Life linking my 5/5 sounds wonderful. That's a card.
I march into battle as your champion. Share in my light.
Man, Giant Killer can't kill Tectonic Giant. Can I get a flavor judge ruling on that? Anyone flavor judge ruling on Tectonic Giant not dying to Giant Killer? It's a baby giant? Okay. We should Guidemother it and then Giant Killer it. Fair. Are they dead on board? They go block, block, block. They take 4, 5, 6. They take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? Just count that again. They go block this one, block this one, block this one. They take 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. I don't want to show them Flower Flourish if I don't have to. This card hasn't seen a ton of play, so I don't want this to be a card that's on their radar if I can avoid it. Oh, I could have also used Shepherd to pick this up to leap the Lovestruck Beast. Maybe O-Hammer. That could have been a line potentially, yeah. I counted twice, you're dead. Thanks. They are currently going through the process of counting like we just did. Yeah, they got to kill him a 3-1. You do you. Woohoo! Alright, I want Decree. I want Brontodon. What do I want to trim here? Splicer's probably a little slow at the top end. Flower Flourish is probably unnecessary. I think I want to cut some of the Gideons. Having a couple to lifelink seems potentially very good. I think I want to just trim around the edges. Yeah, I think, like, I know I said I don't like this in matchups where they can pressure it, but I think the lifelink is relevant enough here that I want to keep some of them. Like, not enough that I want to, like, draw multiples in a game, but, like, one showing up is probably useful in a lot of spots. So, like, the question you need to ask yourself isn't, is this hand keepable if we draw? It's like, how good is this hand if we draw a land? I feel like the payoff here is low. It's not even about feeling lucky, right? It's like, if I get lucky, how good is the payoff? Because this is a 2-lander, right? So, like, pretend this is a tapped land. Is this keepable if this is a tapped land? I'm not sure that it is. This is fine. Not amazing, but fine. Sure. This card seems really good. We should get back and work on the Gruul Adventures deck some more, too. Iroan games is like a card that's going into my opponent's hand. God bless America. That's really frustrating. Maybe I should have shocked and played the Giant Killer on 1 to avoid that. They didn't play a threat on 1, so the odds of them having this on 2 seem relatively high. Yeah, the whole game could be that decision right there. Yeah, you know, I never really thought about it that way. This card's kind of rancid because it's like a card that's only good when your opponent's already behind. It's a good way to think about it. That thought process hasn't occurred to me for why it seems obnoxious. It's like not good a lot of the time, but it's good when your opponent's already on the back foot. Huh? Think we just Master Splicer here. Then we can games next turn. I'm gonna block like this because these still die if they have cleave. When they have cleave. So it's always when they have cleave, right? Never if. Alright, so Torbrand means that they get to kill my Lovestruck Beast if I block. Do you not see the Brontodon that's right here? Yes, confused but not complaining. These are a lot of things in their deck here that don't trigger Cavalcade, huh? All right, we get to gas up next turn with this. Oh, crap. This lets them grab that. That's awkward. All right, so I want to put this here, and then this here, and then this here, and then this here. And this loses their entire board. I keep Lovestruck Beast and Shepherd. I get to draw 2 cards next turn. I could trade this instead. This is a better trade. Keep the 4/4 instead of the 3/1. They can't play a red card here. These are Dwarven Mines. They're not castles. Oh, that's good. That gets to kill this next turn. Put you to 8. This card is really sweet. Just super impressive. Like a beanstalk, chat. Like a beanstalk. All right, we're on the scoreboard. Get it, got it, good. So this is going to come as a shock to many people who are listening to this, but would you believe that the NDA Michael Bloomberg requires people to sign to work for his campaign is more strict than the NDA that the MPL has to sign? Nine pages of NDA, if you'd like to click in and read it yourself. They get fined for disparaging him? I mean, I'm sure it's much worse than that. It's a shocking outcome. We have just an endless supply of 1/1s here, so they're gonna have a real bad time if their plan is keep the 1/1s off the table. Now, demolish and skewer. Okay, I think I just play Splicer here. I guess this goes kind of, maybe I'm just supposed to play the other Lovestruck Beast here. Playing Splicer's kind of medium in the event they have a Storm's Wrath here. Yeah, hopefully the ending will be different this time, oh Hammer. Here's hoping, huh? Have a good one, Red Locks. Catch you tomorrow. Alright, so Shifting Ceratops, get my deck. I don't really know what they're doing. Most of my cards seem good here. Definitely just want this. Do I trim some Gideons because they can attack him? Maybe. He doesn't have haste. They had flying threats, so maybe this effect's not particularly relevant. I'm gonna trim around the edges. Yeah, could be a Phoenix deck. They did spin their tires for a little while there. Sure, let's draw a couple of lands. If we draw like white source, green source, we have a really strong curve here. We see Electromancer will probably bring in some extra removal for the last game. Perfect. So we just need to draw an untapped land in our next 3 draw steps. If we curve, we could curve all the way out to 5. This with haste is technically a 5 drop. Hey, Miker, let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Thanks for the entire year of support. I appreciate you keeping me around. Interesting. We just make this indestructible. Crunch. Can you kill my Gideon? Okie doke. Gideon seeming less good in this matchup if they have more evasive threats. That's not the untapped land I wanted for Christmas, but it's better than missing here, huh? I'm gonna go ahead and give this lifelink to help me race a little bit, and if they want to trade their flyer for my 3/1, I think I'm fine with that. I think I'm just gonna play Lovestruck Beast here. This way, if I draw an untapped land next turn, I can, like, play Guidemother, play Questing Beast, smash for a ton. Also gives me some defense on the ground here to potentially keep Gideon alive for a turn.
Your light will cleave the darkness.
Made the Shepherd indestructible because they technically have a free block on it. Alright, they have a large zomboy. Onward, upwards, backward, forward. It does, yeah. The art on the zombie token changes as the amass gets larger. Very, very good attention to detail. Yeah, the art on the amass token changes as the token grows. So I think we shock for Temple Garden on 1, so we can make the Lovestruck Beast token, and this gives us the ability to play Castle and play a double white card on 2. With their Lovestruck Beast being in exile, I want to save the chop down here. So just going to play 2 flyers here to start poking them. Teamer Breach. Sounds good, 0. Will do. Get that added after I'm done today. Thanks for the support. Hopefully they just play a 5/5 this turn. We chop it down. We crack them for 7. Just like we drew it up. This deck has so many just incidental 1/1s in it. Feels really good. A lot of the Lovestruck Beast decks I've played, historically speaking, tend to not have a critical mass of 1/1, so it's pretty easy for it to get turned off. In this deck, we just have so many cards. It's like, yep, that's a 1/1. Yep, that's a 1/1. I wrote in games, I might want 4 Faerie Guidemother in here, honestly. I wrote in game stacking counters on an evasive threat is like really sweet. So guess which idiot promised they could totally do a split for a production of Fiddler on the Roof next summer, only to find out they're not as flexible as they were in 3rd grade. Please put these towards Mono Blue Dick's devotion. Thanks for the bit, Space Herring. Good luck, Godspeed. We did not play Teamer Breach today, so they were re-adding that to the queue, Hucklebear. So Teamer Breach was a deck we played, it was a few days ago at this point, maybe last week, earlier this week. I don't know, all the decks blur. We do a lot each day.
I have survived Nico Bolas, and I will survive you. With my aim and their claws,
Okay, I mean, like, that's not even really a big deal, right? Like, she just dies to my flyers. This gives me a second 4-power thing. Smack you to 5. Hit you to what? Kill this. Scale of 1 to dead, what are we working with here? Now the question is, are they mono green or were they missing a color? The fact that they're playing Vivian makes me think they might just be straight up mono green. As far as mono green's concerned, I think Gideon's a cut here because they're likely a questing beast deck. Banishing Light and Elspeth Conquers Death both seem reasonable. I could see an argument for bringing in Shifting Ceratops, if only because it's just another big dumb beater. Let's try it. Let's try this for now, though. Favorite control deck? Definitely Sultai Control. That's one you can find up on the standard decks page on my website. Spend sweets like blue-black, splash good Sultai cards. Or splash good green cards. Brontodon for a spec on Hedge. Nah, not outright. If they, I brought in Elspeth Conquers Death and Banishing Light, so I have 4 ways to deal with Henge if that's what they're doing. Well, there's a chance that that's not what they're doing. I don't know, save in. This card kills us really quickly, especially if they have any way to pump it. When it attacks, it pumps something equal to its power. I think I'm supposed to do this here. As much as it sucks to draw fewer cards, like, I'm set up to draw a lot of cards, I just need to not die, right? Hey, Fall Not Dead, thanks for the 7 months, I appreciate that, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Trying to, like, stem the bleeding, get my 5/5 into play. If they attack with everything, I'm gonna eat the Pelt Collector and go to 2, I think. If they attack with just that, that's fine. Would really like to draw an untapped land here that doesn't hurt me, so I can go Innkeeper into draw 2. Okay. You draw a pump spell? I think Giant Growth's legal in this format, right? You have another pump spell? Actual, factual Giant Growth, chat. Actual, factual Giant Growth. Not quite dead yet, but almost. Dead to a stiff breeze. Or like sitting here trying to figure out the combat math. Dang, play card that kills you. I think I'm happy with how I boarded. Maybe I'm not happy with Conquer's Death. Their deck's pretty aggressive. I'm gonna put in 2 Ceratops, just another 4-drop beater. Is Giant Growth the best 1-mana pump spell? No, Become Immense is the best 1-mana pump spell. Maybe Berserk. Is Berserk better than Become Immense? Berserk might be better than Become Immense. Sure. Would like to scry into one of our white 1-drops so we can draw with Innkeeper. No, mutagenic growth is a free spell. For those not familiar with how to calculate the mana cost of Phyrexian spells, they're busted because they're free. Wow, do I actually hold on to that? Huh? I think I hold that to chop down. Is the play. Super rewarded. Not attacking here because I don't want this to get eaten by a flash wolf. We're so smart and thin, chat. It's on a wolf, chat. It's very, very clearly on a wolf. I feel like a flavor judge would side with me for referring to this as a flash wolf. Thank you very much. Holding up Giant Killer here is a little bit awkward if they don't attack. Maybe I should have just played games. Is their deck just like tribal animal riders? Is that the plan? So if they giant growth their Hedgehammer here, I get to chop it down. So like I get to draw 2 cards with this, I get to draw 2 cards with this, I get to draw 2 cards with this potentially. I get to say, hey, questing beast, beep beep, run you over. Hey, Penumbra. Thanks for re-upping that Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome back to Oglandia. Hope you're having a good one wherever you're at. Going to stumbled and died just a little bit too long here. We've got plenty of cards going. Aren't going to be able to keep up. Let the cards flow, chat. Let the cards now flow. It really soothes the soul. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Pew. Moving on up the constructed event. Do 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 beep beep do 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 do. Wow, I was kind of expecting there to be a bunch of other people streaming because we've only got 1,400 people in here. But we're actually at the top of the Magic category with only 1,400 people. That's wild. the core of what we have going on here is super reasonable. This card's continuing to impress me, and I want to see it with Klothys some more, I think. Magic is dying, something like that. I'm pretty sure Magic dies every year, and I'm still here, so like, you know. But I don't understand, chat. We just had over 100,000 people watching Worlds on Twitch. Where did all the viewers go, chat? Are you implying to me that maybe some of those viewers weren't real and they were bought and paid for by Wizards of the Coast to embed their stream to make their game seem more popular on Twitch than it actually is? Is that what you're implying? Because you'd be right. Y'all are great. Thanks for being here. Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday wherever you're at in the world. You're a bot? You're a real viewer to me, Andy. I appreciate you being here. I think we just like play Questing Beast and get smashy here. Jeff's gonna wake up and be bronze tomorrow. Can someone untime out Andy Mac? I might have fragged them by mistake. It was friendly fire, I promise. Everybody else except you. Yeah, you. Everybody else watching is a bot. But you're a real person, I promise. We're all bots down here, Georgie. And when you're down here, you'll be a bot too! As much as it hurts me to chop down my own questing beast, I gotta do what I gotta do. Well, poop. Would you believe I almost put Tristani in my board, and then I was like, nah, nobody really plays ramp anymore. I almost put a Tristani in my board, chat. I was so close. Do you have any examples of a build-around submission that became an actual deck of the format? Yarok Field. From last season before, 2 seasons ago before rotation, that was a build-around submission. But that's definitely the exception, not the rule. Like most Magic decks built in general, most build-around submissions don't go anywhere. It's just how Magic works. No, I might be able to use this Guidemother to punk them out at some point and like deal a bunch of damage. Temur Oko wasn't a build around, but it was a deck I put together. Temur Oko was, I wanted to put Oko with all the mana accelerants, so I did it. And it was great. It was glorious. We had quite a few during GRN Standard Fall Not Dead, but you're definitely right. For as long as I've been doing this, the standard page is probably at an all-time high. It's probably pretty close to one of the all-time highs. I'm gonna 6 them here and just get this into play and draw a card with it, because we're gonna draw more cards next turn, so I just want to spend all my mana this turn. It looks like they're close to dead, but in reality, like, they have They have a food to eat here, and they can make food each turn, so we're pretty far off from killing them still. Need to pick up 2 cards with games next turn. If one of them's a Flower Flourish, we can kill them. If none of them are, if neither of them are Flower Flourish, we're hoping to draw more adventure cards to eventually draw more cards. Wow, that's rude. I think they're thinking about taking my games to draw 2 cards here. They're probably supposed to take my games and then take my card draw away. It's super unfortunate. This does mean that a Faerie Guidemother is lethal, though, because they tapped out. He says before he draws another land. They can block 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I can put them to 2, but that's not good enough, right? I have a giant killer, chat. So if I drew a Guidemother, we would tap their goose and then kill them. We need 3 bricks out of them now, which is unfortunate. Oh, I should have attacked with Beast. Yeah, probably. I mean, there's no guarantee they'd probably just chump, right? There's no guarantee they trade Beast. In fact, they almost assuredly don't. There's a part where they count their mana and cast Hydroid Crisis. Or draw Mass Manipulation, yeah. Alright, so I think my plan here is to play Innkeeper, play a tapped land, pass, and then I can diddle a creature, make a 1/1, and then untap, diddle something else, attack. They just drew a bunch of blanks, chat. Hopefully they got nothing, because we really can't beat things from this position. They are playing a ramp deck. Their deck probably has a lot of mana in it. No one ever draws 4 lands in a row? Listen. You apparently don't watch this stream enough. Hey, diddle diddle, the druid and the fiddle. The giant killer jumped over the moon. They are at a virtual 10 right now. I wonder if that was their desired outcome there. Yeah, I need to start closing. We're gonna start attacking next turn. We're gonna tap Lovestruck Beast and attack with everything. I like how it gives itself a glowing red now. Just like, get out of here. You know what you did. I don't know if this attack is lethal or even if it's good, but it's what we've got, so we're gonna go with it. I'm pretty sure it forces them to chump block a couple of things. They're at 10, they block 1, 2, 3 things. They take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Are they dead? I think they might be dead. I don't know. It's not my job to figure it out. Looks pretty dead to me. All right. This doesn't get mass manipulation and it has haste. So that sounds great. This sounds wonderful because I can pick my stuff up when they go to steal it. What else? What do we feel like cutting? I want my Ceratops. Am I supposed to trim at least one of these for curve considerations? Then what else gets out of here? Yeah, one of those tokens was a gold from the games they stole, chat. They didn't have another food token that they couldn't activate, so the adapt didn't matter unless they had instants in their hand that they couldn't cast. Yeah, they were only at 10. Is Gideon a good enough threat? Yeah, I don't know. Like, he hits for 4, right? Maybe not enough to draw multiple. What creatures did they play? Do we think Giant Killer's actually good? I guess Giant Killer diddling their stuff was pretty reasonable. Can I just continue trimming around the edges? I don't know that Tristani is, like, actually even good. Tristani makes Lovestruck Beast real bad. Tristani makes Lovestruck Beast real awkward. Easy mulligan. Nah, I think that's drinking the Kool-Aid too much, Elliot. Never attribute to malice that which is adequately explained by incompetence or neglect. Ooh, they have Uro. That makes a lot of sense. The card's real busted. Want to get a plains with this, so that way this castle can come into play untapped down the line. Guidemother. That's really not that good in the face of Goose, huh? Elspeth, thank you for the 11 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday wherever you're in the world. Yeah, the fact that there was no Nissa last game was real good for us. Joke's on you. I didn't want the card on top of my deck anyways. Gosh, my turn's really awkward here, huh? Maybe I should have just made a 1-1 last turn, because, like, I can't make a 5-5, so I don't have a 1-1 to go with it at the moment. This is 4 cards in the bin already. This will be a 5th next turn, so they're getting pretty close to escaping Uro. Yeah, the Pioneer deck we played this morning wasn't very good, Chef Seth. It was another Cat Oven deck, and Cat Oven is consistently pretty mediocre in that format. It's just too low power level. They decided not to chump block my 1-1 deal. Got him all the way back down to 20, chat. We got him on the ropes. It was also Grixis, go figure. Yeah, weird. The underwhelming deck was Grixis. What do we have tomorrow? Tomorrow is Mono Blue Devotion. We'll see how that goes. We'll see. Lots of people like Grixis. It's just never good. Yes, Questing Beast animation dominating the entire screen is awesome, not annoying. We're gonna get Agent of Treachery next turn. Just like, find somewhere to throw up. Maybe Shifting Ceratops can pound through these blue cards after Giant Killer kills my Questing Beast that they're about to steal. No! Agent of Treachery is so good. What is that? Time Twist? Exile permanent returns to play? Neat. Alright, so like, if they put Uro into play here, we just like chop it down and then attack them again? Gosh, if this card was templated as you own, that would be so good. And like, they can't blink Uro because then it dies. So like, they get to blink their goose for value here, but they're not really doing anything else otherwise, right? I think we're gonna steal this one. Shifty boy. Bring in the beatdowns here. They're leaving a mana up. That's interesting. Oh crap. What if they have negate? Why can I not? Alright. Need to click show phases so I can put a stop on my attack step because I'm an idiot. Chop this down before they get to block. They could have like Aether Gust here. I'd be pretty surprised if they had... Am I okay with this? I think I'm okay with this. I could bounce it to kill the Brazen Borrower, but I don't really care about the Brazen Borrower, right? Yeah, we just, like, the Borrower also just doesn't block, so we just get to attack past it, right? Well, that's not that big of a deal because I have this to diddle it, right? I'd tap that all night long, all night. Do 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 hero, beauty hero. Could theoretically bounce Giant Killer. Probably not a good line, though. I think the plan here currently is land. Well, that chumps Ceratops. The binding is going to get them back another one here in a second, too. And they're going to flip a bunch more cards into their bin. And, like, Uro's coming back soon. They are slowly stabilizing this game. There's a mass manipulation, so really don't want to kill the Cavalier of Thorns now, because then mass manipulation happens. Yeah, I feel like this game is slipping away. Because Uro's going to gain them some more life here as well. And the Goose threatens to gain them life also. Should we lift mana up for the bounce? No, I don't think I can afford to hold mana up for the bounce. I think I just gotta hope they don't have stuff and just do as much damage as possible. Holding up mana means I miss 2 points of damage, and every point of damage counts here. They're down to 26 cards in their deck. There's a Hydrate Crisis for their ban. 21 cards in their deck. $16 cards in their deck. I think we're on the pump the brakes for a turn plan to end step Giant Killer, untap Giant Killer again. He says before he draws a Shifting Ceratops. I don't think that changes anything though, right? Yeah, I think we do this, cast this, draw a card. I think I just cast that, draw a card, right? I'm gonna pass here. Well, these have reach, dude. So flying's not particularly useful. I mean, if we get mass manipulation, we can't win the game anyways, so there's no point in talking about it or playing around it. I guess all these lands let them tap a bunch of our stuff with Thassa. Yeah, I guess they get to tap two of my creatures here. I kind of like to draw a land. Giant Killer. Well, Thassa doesn't block my protection from blue cards, chat. For people talking about Thassa. Yeah, I feel like we're behind, but like Ceratops might be able to punk us through here. So they have a couple of jump blocks here if they want them. They might not jump with the goose just because it makes food. I assume they'll jump with at least the grazer. They have 13 cards in their deck. They can eat a food here. Weird they didn't eat the food. I feel like they should just use their mana there. Egg leg. I wonder if they're gonna blink this Cavalier Thorns. This seems really aggressive. Like, there's only 11 cards in their decks. Like, if they blink this Cavalier, they're going down to 6 cards in their deck. 7 or 5 cards in their deck with the Risen Reef trigger as well. Okay. If they don't blink a Cavalier, yeah, they could have a Jace in their deck. It's very true. We haven't seen one yet, but that's real. That's real. They're at 10 cards. Yeah, Shepherd picking up Guidemother to jump something could be relevant, or even just to get +2/+2. I guess jumping's probably not relevant because Thassa taps my stuff. But they also need to leave mana up to tap my stuff, but they also have copious amounts of mana. They've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 mana total here. All right, 6 cards in their deck. Wait, what? Did they just lose? They just not paying attention? That's great. Thanks. Thanks. What? Yeah. We take those around here. We take those around here. Box of shoes. Thanks for the 14 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, this deck was kind of sweet. And again, not even focusing just on the specific deck, but cards in general, I really feel like this is a card that's waiting for a good home. This one's consistently felt good, and it really feels like it just pairs super elegantly with Innkeeper, because one of the things the Innkeeper decks always felt like to me in this format is that they lack an additional source of card advantage. So like when you don't have Innkeeper, you struggle to get some velocity going. And First of Iroan Games gives you that velocity. Also worth noting is that Innkeeper is always paired with Lovestruck Beast, right? Like they're 2 green cards. And Iroan Games is also another 1/1 creature for Lovestruck Beast in a lot of instances, which works really well together. I think this is one that I wouldn't mind giving another try to again. It felt pretty reasonable on the surface. I also think Green Red Adventures is one I believe this one's already back in the queue. Looking forward to getting back to this one again to try this card with Edgewall Innkeeper again. At any rate, that's going to be it for you for today. We've been live for almost 9 hours. Wednesday is one of my long days. I'll be live again tomorrow morning. Tomorrow and Friday are going to be longer days as well, actually, because I'm going to be doing Epic card game again at the end of each of the streams. But I'll be live again tomorrow morning with Pioneer into Standard, and then Epic to wrap things up. Remember, as always, if you want more content from myself after I sign off, be sure to check out my website and my YouTube channel, mtgesports.net there. I'm going to hit one more ad roll on the way out the door to meet my quota for the day, and catch all the other on later. Everybody enjoy your Wednesday evening wherever you're at in the world.